It's yours truly, Ricovibes, and welcome to another edition of Take 5 with yours truly, Ricovibes. My special guest today is, I don't know, the president, the governor, the mayor. I don't know what to call him, man. Mr. David Driver Cam.
What's going on,
What's
Rico?
up, man?
What's up?
Welcome to the show, man.
Chilling. How's everything?
I'm good, you know. Let's go back, man, because I knew you when you had long dreads from Expos days.
Yeah.
You know, and fast forward to, you know, the brand Driveway Cam. How did that come about?
Nah, man, like I just used to like going to the clubs, whether it was Expos or LNS and some of the early clubs downtown and what have you, Jaguars.
Whoa, you're going way back.
Yes. And then even when I was back in New York, just loved the culture. So when I came down here in '96, you know.
That's how long you've been here?
Yes, since '96. Yeah, '96.
Right.
Just used to like to record the parties, and not a major thing, but just kind of record certain DJs that gave a vibe and what have you. And I mainly used to do it at Red Hills,
right?
And what have you. And some of the DJs I used to catch, Danger Marcus, Negus, Sound Decision, Rest in Peace, Slaughter Tone. Those are some of the selectors that kind of brought the vibe. Even John Wayne and what have you and stuff like that. So I would just film it a little bit, you know, even though it's dark as heck. Sometimes I get the crowd. Dark, sometimes I would get the crowd, but I would post it on Facebook and IG because I never really would see that.
Right.
You know, D.T., who we all know, would do the
That's another story.
Yeah, that's another story there. But do the videos and stuff like that and whatever. And I see Knight Rider from New York and what have you and do that. But never anybody would put it on social media so you could see it the next day. So I used to do that a lot, and you know, and then eventually, you know, people were like, yo, and especially Sari was like, you know, you should definitely go ahead and be doing this as part of your thing. And it just evolved into what it is today.
Wow. Did you remember your first official booking? Like somebody literally called out and said, I need to book you. How much do you charge?
Nah, man, I don't because it kind of just blended for me doing it just for the love of it too. Now it's part of like you know my job, so to speak, and what have you. So, but you know, obviously, you know, whether it's showing prices and Yellow or you know, if it was just some of the you know other people that used to throw promoters that used to throw parties back in the day, they were just like you know, hey, why don't you come down and do this and whatever, and they didn't have to go through my booking manager like they
back
do
then
now.
they didn't.
No. But.
Wow. Now, what was the first major artist or selector that reached out to you and said, "Can I have your clip to post on my IG"?
I don't really remember that. I mean, because at the end of the day, it was mainly me posting it. What I would normally do though. Is that I never try to keep it for myself. A lot of times I just ask, you know, if I knew the selector had they like that, I would just like, let me just shoot it to you. Sometimes I get complaints. They say, don't shoot all these videos to me because you're clogging up my phone.
Oh, wow. Really? People complain about that?
Well, because it's gone to me doing maybe like 20 to 30 minutes total. So now if you're paying me X amount of money,
then you give them.
Then I'm going to give you content. And there'd be some parties that I do 90 to 2 hours worth of footage.
Wow.
A lot. Especially some of the big events and stuff like that. I do that. But you know, some like promoter that really has been looking out, especially for a while now, is like Terrence Simmons. Be like, yo, definitely send me this. Make sure it says this and whatever because he plans to use
that footage.
And even like Terrence would come and ask me, hey, can you shoot me any footage for anything so I can use it for my videos and stuff like that for promoting parties. So when I hear people do that, then it's like okay, they respect your game.
It's important. Correct. Well, how did you transition into doing parties?
It was just a really easy transition, man, because at the end of the day, I like going to events and stuff like that, and I'll be selfish. I'll be like, hey, you know, bottle and you know, money and stuff like that, right? And whatever. And it was just like it was a way for me to merge it. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody know me, especially when Red Hills and Expos. I'll be at the spot 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then drive to Kennesaw to go to work. So it was like that, but I was like, if I'm gonna go through all this, I might as well get paid. So it was like a no-brainer because I get to get the benefits of both worlds, party and get paid.
Are we ever going to see another Three the Hard Way?
Oh no, no, no.
Really?
My double troubles with my wife. But no, not like that.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but that part is not.
Gotcha.
That was some fun times, man.
It was.
I mean, because big up DC and big up Sean Price. I mean, that was a whole thing that kind of made the driveway cam help
build the brand,
and stuff like that, because Sean and EC were more the hosting part of it, and then they would get the content part of it, and I would do that, so big up to them and what have you, because that was really like my let's go break down the door and let driveway cam be known, because without that I wouldn't have been doing as many parties and stuff.
Now, and I know we've gone back and forth personally. You and I have spoken, and you've gotten disenfranchised and stuff about doing parties and all that. Are you more into doing it more now, or are you still on that level of, okay, I just want to concentrate on the driveway cam?
It's my time is kind of done. Outside of doing the Rewind Sundays, which that's my favorite genre to kind of do, because of my age and where I am in life and stuff, and how that's what the type of music that brought me into the culture. I will deal with that not on an every month basis, but maybe a quarterly, twice a year, whatever, to do something kind of big. And that was the whole reason why New York State of Mind was the finale, because it was just, at the end of the day, it's time. I'm not that type of promoter that this is my thing that I need to do continuously.
Well, that's
just not me. That's just not my lane.
Got you.
And what have you. So I know how to stay in my lane, so to speak. To me, the promoter thing, I'm not built for it like people may think.
Right.
Just because I do a real hectic
job,
9 to 5. That's not only just a 9 to 5, but it's corporate world type thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. How do you balance that though? Because when I was in the 9 to 5, I had natural vibes, but I was more, I would say 75% into my corporate job.
Yeah.
But you seem to balance it pretty seamlessly.
I love both worlds.
Right.
Because I came from a part where when I hooked up with my corporate job, I had lost 2 jobs. Then I had gotten another job where I could only work a certain amount, and then dealing with life issues like child support and stuff like that and whatever, even getting that job wasn't the best one.
Gotcha.
So when I walked into that door 17 years later, I'm not trading that for anything.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Especially in the financial world, is like, it's a whole different thing.
Gotcha.
Then you have the world of the streets and the club and the stuff like that, and the music, and which I even knew longer, which made me leave New York to go to Atlanta.
Wow.
And what have you. That is just like, it's like, okay, I can have my cake and eat it too, so to speak.
Right.
And if you love both things, and you have a stable support system at home and whatever, even though things may not always go perfect,
of course,
I mean, there are things that help balance.
Gotcha.
So.
When we look on the Driveway Cam brand, and we look on your page, for instance, like I looked on your page just before I came here, and I saw all the events up until God knows when, and I'm saying to myself, do you have help with this stuff?
No.
Does your wife help you?
Well, I will tell you this, right? And please, everybody, right? You need Driveway Cam for your services, promoting social brand marketing, events, stuff like that. You go out, reach out to her.
Right.
The one thing, bless her, is that she's taking that part of the game out from me and what I have to deal with. And you want a book, go through her. It's an issue, she gonna get at you.
Gotcha.
And whatever, and she's gonna look out, make sure everything is done appropriate, so you're satisfied with the work and the brand. Everything else really, I do, like even that calendar. And you kind of know me, Rico. Like I ain't gonna be friends with everybody, and I learned late in this game, right? You can't please everybody.
No, you can't.
You can't. And when I try to please everybody, blah blah blah, right?
Right.
But the one thing is that it always surrounds me is that I care, and I want to see other people eat.
Right.
So the calendar piece was just about, listen, I can't go to every party, and what have you. But what I can do is to make sure that I use my avenue of my platform to reach out to master and let people see what's going on. Plus, I also think it helps in confusion in a sense. And so my whole thing was, okay, let me start this calendar, boom, 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 and then it just exploded to,
If somebody don't see their party on their calendar, they take offense to it. They take it personal. Some people.
They be like, why you don't have my thing on there? And I'd be like, "Damn, you see how long it is? Sometimes it slipped by. But it's like, hey, at the end of the day, when you seen this thing, it's like, oh, wow, there's a lot of things going on in Atlanta, and then it helps avoid the thing of, well, let me check this, because people hit me up, be like, yo, what's going on in August? What's going on, whatever, and that helps eliminate some drama unnecessarily.
Correct.
So if that helps, I'm saying, good. You know what I mean?
You realize some of the things, like for instance, when you go to a party and you start videoing, it's a double-edged sword, because some people look at it and say, okay, I was going to come, but I don't see anybody there. Do you get that feedback from people? Sometimes I mean, don't get me wrong, the videoing is always a good thing. But some people stay at home and watch the video and say, okay, ain't nobody there yet, so I'm not going. Or
no, never. Well, there's only one person really.
Mike up top?
No, nobody. No, just Red Notes is big up. I'll be like, don't until round 3.
The clashes,
Round 3, don't do that.
Clashes,
But other parties, no, because what I've been told is, if I don't see you there,
then
or if I know you're not there, then I'm probably not going to come. I've had people tell me that.
Right. I've had people say if it's not on your platform, they don't believe it's real.
Yeah, and we've had issues with that before, and whatever. But yeah, that's it. At the end of the day, and that's why sometimes some events, right? Like I would go live a little bit, just people will show, or sometimes like we'll do me reach at here and stuff like that and whatever.
Yeah, the Me Reach brand, you kind of laid off that a little bit, but I love that brand.
Yeah, well, it's hectic, yo.
Yeah,
I have to still have the Me Reach page on Facebook that people could see, and I need to kind of incorporate that, but you see me hashtag it.
Yeah, you hashtag it. But, I used to look forward to seeing Me Reach. Okay, driveway's there. Let me reach out to driver. Yo, how is it going?
Yeah, exactly. I gotta start doing that again, because I used to put the picture of the shirt.
The back of the shirt, right.
Yeah. I can't please everybody.
There you go. There you go. What's next for the Driveway Cam brand, though?
Just keep pushing, and again, it's like I try to ask myself, like, how far do you want to take it? I have people asking me to do music videos and weddings and stuff like that. They think I'm like, I can't. I'm not doing that. I can't. There's no way. First of all, some of that don't have the equipment to do anything, and second of all, I just don't have the time. But that's not what I love to do, and you know what I'm saying. So the only thing I can see myself really is continuous kind of perfecting to the point of how I execute my vision of the Cam brand, and making sure that if Rico booked me, if Jenna booked me, and Nicole and Style booked me, I'm gonna make sure that I have to do everything possible to get what they need and make sure what they're paying for is what they want. The only thing, the next step really I do see, and it happened today, somebody hit me up, I'm going to pay you double just to market my party and whatever, stuff like that. Where it's like, no, and that's why I had put that post today, right? It's like, oh, of course there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
At the end of the day,
if they want you exclusively.
If your brand is a business, and your idea is, my idea is not to just go to a club and drink Hennessy, right? And that's part of my thing. No, that's not my goal.
Right. My
goal is to build up the Cash App total, let that continue, and I dip into that when I need.
Got it.
And that's the whole reason why, I'm looking at this as give the people what they want, be very two-way communication. Is like I know what I like to do. Anything that you need, and what have you. A promoter a couple of weeks ago was like, "Hey, need you to do this," and I didn't even think about it when they had, when they mentioned it was like, "Oh, that specific promoter based on what they do, their theme, it didn't click."
Gotcha.
Until I heard, so it kind of taught me to make sure that, hey, is there anything, Sari, communicate anything they specifically want, because some people just do what you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Do what you do, and then some people's like, hey, if this is my brand, I need this captured on video and stuff like that. So that I would say is the thing I want to make sure I'm doing.
Wow. Now, you've been getting a lot of out-of-town bookings, some New York bookings, some Florida bookings. Obviously, you've been to Jamaica as well. Are those important to your brand?
Yeah. Rico. I remember we had, when we did the radio station, we talked about it a little bit. Who would ever think that me having a cell phone camera, cell phone, would take me to Jamaica multiple times, right? Where I actually was on stage filming Matron and a bunch of other people and stuff like that and whatever, and taking me to even Atlanta and then New York and Florida and filming stuff like that where people know. Like the two biggest moments I would say, like, well, I wouldn't say maybe the biggest, but I wouldn't even say the proudest, but just like maybe like, yo, this is real, right? Not only the trips to Dream Weekend, but when I recorded Rising King at Elegance. You remember how that was packed out when he had just.
And that was the first time he came to the U.S.
Yeah. And I posted that videos on YouTube.
I remember that.
And it blew up. Then when Shansia came to Obsessions, and 168,000 people saw one video, and most of the subscribers I have over 5,000 on YouTube. Half of them are from outside the United States, especially Jamaica and what have you. And when people tell me, I was just speaking to DJ Kenny, he's like, yo, man, just continue doing what you do. When I'm telling you, whether people like it or not, they look at Atlanta as, as a spot where it's vibrant and stuff like that. And if they want to know what's going on, they look at your page and stuff like that, as well as others. But
of course,
they're gonna go to your page and link you and stuff like that. And I guess, and unfortunately, that's the way it is. I mean, and I appreciate it.
I mean, I look at a lot of the artists that comes in, a lot of the DJs, and they know you by name, and once a brand is recognizable, where an artist said driver cam this or a DJ said driver cam, you got to be proud of that. Because you built something.
Yeah, because my whole mantra, so to speak, is to get whatever you're doing as a selector or as a promoter and get that to the masses. It's like you're helping me, and one of my things is I want to help you, and that's it. And I mean it's a two-way street, and that's really what I want to do. And I feel real blessed that, like I said, that just taking the idea of pulling this phone out, and I think when I really started was in 2015, and then
it's been today 6 years already.
Yeah, that's when 2015 is when I started really doing it.
Yeah.
And what have you. And now it's to the point where, I have people trying to book me like crazy. I have people trying to get me out of town.
That's a good thing.
And I'm like, dog, book up to August. There's certain dates and like whatever. Like we're going to Florida in May. There's certain dates that's open, but the dates that they want to book, I'm booked. You see what I'm saying?
You need a, like I just got an assistant. You need an assistant.
If I get an assistant, like, well, Saree's my partner, right? So, but if I would tell you this, if it ever gets to that point, somebody was like, yo, why don't you, capitalize on this and get someone else to do. I'm like, no, I don't want that.
The driver cam is in your name. Yeah,
I'm gonna be very to me. I wish people would look at certain things and be like, what I do, I consider it art.
Gotcha.
And I can't see the hands of my art,
In
of
somebody
my
else's
brand, in
hands.
somebody, because you're not going to be able to me, it's just different.
No, I understand. I
You see
get
what I'm
it.
saying?
I get it.
You can get a skilled, photographer to do what you,
Right.
and that's
Right.
different, right?
Right.
Because
Correct.
you teach them
Right.
how to take a
Correct.
picture, use exposure, stuff like that. I can't see that with video to me
No, I
because
got you.
I look
got
for
you.
certain things to record,
I got you.
and that's how I look at it. So
Gotcha. Wow. Once again, folks, my special guest today is David Driveway from Driveway Cam. What advice do you have to give to folks? There are a lot of people who are looking at you and wishing maybe they can do this, or aside from your personality, which you can't copy. You've got that personality where, like you said earlier, you're kind of cool with everyone. You know what I mean? So everyone look to David Driveway for advice or for what's going on and stuff like that. But what advice can you give to someone that they can take and make it their own?
I think several things. Don't get into it if you don't love it and you can't deal with negative stuff. Sometimes it's very hard to kind of keep focus when you have certain things,
Correct.
whether it's being said or just you just see negative stuff and whatever. You, you gotta separate that. Have someone that you can rely for support, that that you can fully trust, and you can talk about things and whatever, that that they're gonna tell you
The
what
truth.
you need to hear.
Gotcha.
And sometimes that definitely needs to come from someone that's either your spouse or someone that you really care about from being a partner, or that could be your friend that you just know is going to give you the reels and stuff like that. And then really at the end of the day, I mean, and if you're doing it, do it for their behalf as well. So what I mean. So when you're being hired and what have you, you gotta treat it like, hey, if the role was reversed,
This is what I would
this
have
is what I
wanted.
do.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And so to speak, do unto others. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
If you want quality stuff, if you always want quality stuff, and you wouldn't want to have things where you have to question, that means you have to put that work in.
Got it. How has marriage life been to you in terms of, I mean, not only on the personal, you're happy personally, but on the business end of it? How have you worked that into your business?
It's been actually easy. I mean, because so we come from the dancehall culture and stuff like that,
Sure.
and whatever. So it's all about we want to do things together, and she sees that driveway cam as a thing that for her husband is
Right.
it's something that he likes to do,
Right.
and I would tell you this: we've just like any married couple, we've had our difficult arguments about it and maybe direction and stuff like that and whatever. But at the end of the day, we always work it out and stuff like that. But that's the key. I mean, if it's easier to deal with a lot of things if you have someone that wants you to succeed. Wants the betterment of everything and what
Right.
have you. That's the key. If you're involved with someone, even at the end of the day, right, that there's just some turmoil underneath the soil. It don't matter if you're doing stuff, videoing, photography, or if
Whatever.
you just your regular work. That stuff is gonna bubble up.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? So to be honest with you, it's actually made things easier than if I was by myself.
Got it. And I must say, I've known Siri for a long time. I've never seen her happier. I've known you, and I've never seen you happier. So you guys, it's like the yin and the yang. You really gel. So congratulations on that, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Once again, folks, Mr. David Driveway. Anything you have to say before you go?
No, I mean, I appreciate the opportunity, and to the Atlanta, to what we call whole team, definitely represent. I know it's been like a real tough, 12 months, especially recently. We've lost some people, locally.
Yeah.
We lost people globally that it impacts our culture and our music and what have you. All I would ask y'all to do to persevere, keep the faith and hang on. And there are always better days, but that's me. I'm always Mr. Positive and stuff like that.
Optimistic,
and
man.
support.
Optimistic.
Okay, so it ain't nothing going to change that, but. And one thing, I rep Atlanta, even though I'm from New York and, I travel abroad and stuff like that. But Atlanta, my home base, and has been there for over 20 years. So, rep it to my past. So, but Rico, I definitely appreciate the opportunity. Love that you're doing.
It's my pleasure.
Glad that you're doing this because this gets out to people and stuff like that. So,
Absolutely.
I appreciate what you do for the community as well.
Thank you. Rewind Sundays. When is that?
Rewind Sundays, April 18th. Soon to be announced. It's going to be somebody very special that's going to be in the building as the guest and superstar DJ. So when you hear it and you see it, you're going to be like, Lord. So
okay, I'm looking forward
wait for it to drop soon.
I'm looking forward.
I appreciate everybody, man. Thank you. Much love.
All right. Thank you, folks, for tuning in to another edition of Take 5 with Ricovibes. My special guest today, Mr. David Driver. See you next time on another edition of Take 5.
Peace.